Jenner, Cover and Valley Declare. Does anybody remember that cover? How quickly that went around the world. You know, less than a day, within about an hour, that image had gone around the world. You know, very little needed to be said about it, just went viral. Your website. I say company website because you might have your own, or it might be your publishers. If you're going through a company that does self-publishing for writers, that could be their website. It could be your blog, but you need to have an online presence there. That website will have all the information that relates to you and your book, or books, or whatever it is that you are interested in that also could relate to your book. And you need to know your product price. Okay? All this is very important information. Launch name. Is anybody yet self-published here? When I've given this talk to libraries, I'll let you have a copy of it afterwards, you don't need to do that. I've given talks at various libraries and I say to people, you know, what is the timescale between completing your book and going online self-published to sell? I've had 4 days, I've had 2 weeks. Bad idea. Why do I say that? Sorry? To pick what? But you've got all that, you've got to that stage, you know? You've self-published. You self-published this morning. Yeah, ideally. Well, that's if you're using physical copies. If you're going online, distribution, excuse me, the distribution vehicle. When you are about to self-publish your book, I urge you to think about using a minimum of a 3-month lead time. Why?
Start thinking about it, get excited about it. We're forward planning of whatever media, press or programs we would like it to be featured.
Which magazine could be interested in your book, do you think? National magazine?
It's really good because it's forcing me to try and get at these things. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose that...
When we're talking about Ireland, we're talking about Southern Ireland, aren't we? Are we? Or Northern Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, he was around from all parts.
Where was he born? Let's focus on that. Where was he born?
So London, yeah, it could be like regional, could be of interest in where he now lives in sheltered housing.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Back to you because of the warfare aspect. What publications could be available to you?
Well, history magazines.
Okay, so which history magazine? What can we think about from a history magazine? What's out there? Very obvious one. BBC History Magazine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which heritage did on.
What issue do we believe BBC History Magazine has just published? Has gone to street with, which means it's available in shops now. No. What issue, what month of the magazine are we thinking about that's out on the street now?
October.
Why?
Oh, 3 months earlier, so January. January.
So, let's say the October issue is out now. We're mid-month, so that's more than likely to be true, right? If you publish this morning, how are you going to get the this month's issue, or the October issue? You can't do that, okay? You need to think about a campaign, because these monthly magazines, with the exception to Vogue and I think Tatler and Harper's, have an average of a 3-month lead time. So you need to think, when are you going to publish your book, make it available for people to buy, in order to do a considered campaign to get as much awareness as possible. So if you want to say launch it in January, February, you could be approaching them now, you know, and talking about it. Absolutely fine. Where the national magazines are concerned, I'll come back to this. I think about a minimum of a 3-month lead. Press release. These days, you cannot contact the media on the whole without a press release, particularly if you've got no experience of dealing with them. And I will come back to this and I will show you an example of a press release that I've done. Okay. The other thing that we need to think about within your campaign are the techniques that you use. Brexit, my God, you know, what were they using as part of that whole campaign? What was the predominant technique that was being used in that campaign?
Repetition.
The same message.
Yeah, what else?
Buses,
Sorry?
buses, they had adverts on buses.
Not talking about adverts.
Pressure. You're putting pressure on people.
Advertising is a bad word here. This is all about PR. So which of the techniques was the Brexit campaign using? Fear. Yeah, we know that.
Fear, pressure and...
Oh God, didn't we feel the pressure?
Information.
Yeah.
Information.
Did we get any threat?
Oh yeah, we were threatened that it's all going to go better, so the Third World War's going to start.
Yeah. Okay. Who remembers the ALS campaign? ALS, the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Oh,
The most successful online campaign to date. What was significant about that particular campaign?
Very
It was what, sorry?
you have to really go and do it.
No, well, pressure, it was peer pressure, wasn't it?
Thank you.
Everybody's going, well, they've done it, so you've got to do it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Getting personalities involved. That's
What else did that campaign use? Repetition. Yeah. This was a campaign that was just viral videos. It raised £7 million in the UK and $110 million in the US. A fantastic campaign. You can learn a lot from that. What do you think, Ellen, again you would be using in yours? Which of these techniques do you think you could be using?
When you say reputation, that's your existing reputation as an author. So I wouldn't have.
Could be his
Is that right?
It also depends on the subject matter, what you're
Right.
writing about. Can you use reputation there?
what was
Yeah,
the guy's
definitely about
subject?
Brendan Beard. Yeah.
If
What
I
else are
decide,
you using?
if I decide to write porn, there's no repetition probably taking a hit, but I have considered it.
You know what? It's a huge market.
Oh,
It's a
yes,
huge
I'm-
market.
I'm serious about it. None of the creative
You're
writing
going to be using
classes
any
cover it.
education.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the predominant one, technique that you will use?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So
Education, information. What else?
Entertainment.
What else do you think? What else are you going to be using? Your back up your name.
Well, a bit of education because there is historical fact in there. So, persuasion, well, repetition because again, it's a similar sort of genre pattern of phrases can influence all those sorts of people, or dragons and so on.
Any hope?
Yeah, there is a sort of character and sort of business that comes out.
There's a moral part to it.
So,
All of these things you need to think about when it comes to putting your press release together in order to reach your media. And who do you think the media outlets are? Now, for the purpose of these talks, I focus on traditional media, purely because traditional media validates what happens online. So we've got two segments here of PR. We've got online, below the line, and above the line, traditional media. So don't rule out traditional media. And the reason being is that when you are lucky enough to get traditional media on board, they have online platforms too. So you tend to get two hits with the one contact. So don't disregard it at all. So your local to head, does anybody know who their local, what their local newspaper is or are?
Barking and Dagenham Post and Recorder, which is for Recorder, but well, they're all the same paper, it's just different headlines.
What's your radio station? What's your local radio station?
Time difference.
Radio Essex.
Time difference is cheap.
And LBC I listen to a lot because of the traffic.
A rule of thumb is, when you're rolling out a campaign, is to work with that 3-month lead time. Because the national magazines, 3 months, your national newspapers, ideally 6 weeks, particularly with the supplements. With the newspapers themselves, you can work with a 2-week lead time, but I don't recommend it. Now your regional, I'm talking about, BBC London television. You're bordering Anglia here, aren't you? So is it calendar that they have? Depends on where you live, if it crosses over their borders. Again, that's going to be about a 2-week lead time. And your local papers, minimum of 2 weeks. But I would look at the long term first, because you need to reach them before you reach all the others. Social media, please, anybody who doesn't use social media now, you're going to need it, because it's going to become your best friend. And depending on what you are writing about, I recommend that you have your website, it could be a blog site. You have Facebook and Twitter. Those are the two with which I work.
How do you find the time?
You've got to. If you're looking to get published, you've got to make that time, you've got to build up your fan base. And right now, if you're hoping to publish next year, depending on what you're writing about, you need to think about how can you lock into your news agenda, right? How can you lock into the news
It's
agenda?
funny because I run my own business outside of Barking and Dagenham, so apart from writing, I do martial arts coaching. And when I set it up, I set up a website, I set up Facebook, and a lot of my class participants are all children. So they went, we don't use that since. I went, oh, we don't use Facebook. What do you use it? Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope. Do you want us to set one up for you? Yeah, well. They're telling me.
Exactly, they're dictating to you the outlets that they use.
And
Are you
it's
going to
changed.
disregard that?
No chance.
Okay, so how can you lock into the news agenda? If we're looking at contacting national media, how do you think you can lock into the news agenda with what you're writing about?
You'd set up an account for start with.
Nope. Let's talk about, not talking about setting up accounts.
Oh, right.
Traditional newspapers, news agenda, what's going on in the world that you can lock into, do you think? Anybody? Any volunteers? Yes.
Well, if there's any anniversaries,
Sorry?
or any anniversaries of a historical event that's similar to his.
Yeah, that's
What's just going on in Syria right now?
Oh, war.
Well, what's happened yesterday
Treaty,
that's hold?
peace treaty between, sort of holding, the last one I read about it, and it was between a few of the other person during the night, but it's holding.
After war, have you read that? Right. Yeah. So how can you look into the historical aspects of peace treaties and what goes on to comment about what's going on in the news agenda? Do you see what I'm getting at? Yeah? Anybody that's writing current affairs, and then again, how do you think what you are able to write about can lock in with what's happening today? Not asking you right now, but you're thinking about it? Yeah? Okay. So, again, on social media, this is how you can actually engage with the big debate about what's going on. Read your newspapers, find out what's going on, who's saying what. Follow them, particularly on Twitter. If you have an important comment to make about what's going on that you think is being overlooked, how can you post it? Ask a question for others to engage with you. Yeah? That's how you build your followers. Be intelligent about it to invite, lead, and engage people. Any questions about this so far? Okay. Excuse the narcissistic aspect of what's coming, because it's the only way I can actually show you what is achievable. And I'm outlining what you can do, bearing in mind, I'm not a published author. I'm just promoting my talks up and down the UK. So if I can achieve what's going on, what I'm going to show you, you can do it too. And it doesn't take all that much. Once you know what you're doing, once you've thought about the news agenda and how you can intelligently think into that,